Welcome to the Women's Issues Forum. This is our second in a series of 5 forums that focus on the topic of empowerment. Our voices shall be heard. Today we will talk about women's empowerment through organizations. I am Lynn Parker, and this forum is a community outreach project of the Manatee County branch of the American Association of University Women. Historically, American women had little political or social power until they began to organize into highly motivated groups. Not until 1921, the year after my mother was born, were women given the constitutional right to vote. Now in 2011, the Equal Rights Amendment still has not been added to the Constitution. And I have a fervent wish that my granddaughters will enjoy the benefits of an Equal Rights Amendment to our Constitution. It will take women banding together and persisting to make this happen. With me today are leaders of 4 examples of highly motivated local women's groups. Each in a very different and unique way provides resources and opportunities for women to empower themselves to improve their own and the community's quality of life. Join me in welcoming our panel members. Rosalie Shaffer, President, League of Women Voters of Manatee County. Welcome, Rosalie. Dr. Robyn Spirtas, Director of Successful Women Aligning Together, or S.W.A.T., and we met at the Equity Luncheon. It's so good to have you with us.
Thank you very much.
Kathleen Dodge, President, currently of the American Association of University Women, Manatee Branch. Welcome back to Florida, Kathleen.
Thank you.
And Ashley Brown, Executive Director, Women's Resource Center of Manatee.
Great, thanks for having us.
I'm so happy you're here. To begin, I want each of you to tell us a little bit about the mission of the organization you represent. Kathleen?
I'm president of the AAUW Manatee branch, and the overall mission of AAUW is to advance equity for women and children through our activities of advocacy, education, philanthropy, and research. And I wanted to say that the theme of our branch for the last 2 years has been empowerment. So I'm really glad to be here today to talk about that.
Thank you, Kathleen. Rosalie?
Okay, the League of Women Voters mission. The League of Women Voters, a nonpartisan political organization, encourages informed and active participation in government, works to increase understanding of major public policy issues, and influences public policy through education and advocacy. It is probably the oldest women's empowerment group in this country. It started in the women's suffrage movement. Our leaders back then fought very hard for that because they knew that if you can't vote, then you don't count, not as citizens. And after that vote was taken and we got the right to vote, they realized they needed to keep an organization going that would continue to look after voting rights and expand its mission into public policy decision making so that women and all other citizens would be empowered to take an active part in democracy.
Great. Good historical overview. I appreciate that. And Dr. Robyn, tell us what you do.
Well, I don't have anything formally prepared like that. Now I feel like, do I have to go next?
Yeah.
My group is called Successful Women Aligning Together, and it is a Manatee County-based networking organization, all for women. And what I did was I took all the networking ideas and things that they do in networking events and took all my favorite things and got rid of all the other things. And so I made this group, All for Women, to empower women, and we meet twice a month, one time in Bradenton each month and one time in Lakewood Ranch each month. And it's women that want to sell a product, you know, promote their business, empower their work, and share with other women. And it's just a really great organization. It's a lot of fun, and I love it a lot.
Great. Well, welcome.
Thank you.
Ashley.
Good. Now, do I get all 20 minutes for my
Yes,
mission?
yes.
No, but before you start,
now-
though, before you start, I just want to give you a little commercial. This jacket was purchased at Unique Boutique, which has a specific meaning to you.
Yes, absolutely. That is the resale shop that supports the Women's Resource Center of Manatee. And another fun fact, we should have had drawings for our studio audience for fun facts. But the AAUW was actually one of the founding members of the Women's Resource Center. You all really worked hard to bring the thought of having a nonprofit focused on women in Manatee County. So we've had a nice long partnership together, which is nice. But the Women's Resource Center is focused on helping women make it through difficult transitions or any transitions in their life. And we're really about wanting your future to be different than your past. Some of it's positive, empty nesting, that maybe you stayed home and raised your kids, but now you're sitting around going, maybe I can have a second career or do something different. So it's a daunting task to make that transition, or maybe a more difficult situation has occurred and you're going through divorce or death of a spouse and you're having to reinvent yourself a little bit and see something different for your future. So we do counseling, employment coaching, support groups, and a lot of networking. You know, Robyn talked about the women's networking group. And I think it does a couple of things. One, it's so nice to know that people have made it through similar situations, because I think we all get that no one has ever been dumb enough to make this decision. I've personally had that thought. Or going through a divorce or something difficult, you sometimes don't see what your opportunities are. And if you can connect with other people who have been through it, made it, and survived, it kind of changes your outlook. So we're a little bit of everything from counselor to coach to cheerleader to just a comfortable place to be and shop.
Yeah.
Guilt-free.
And you know what's great about Manatee County? There's a lot of connections, and I liked what you said about the University Women, because my office is actually at the Women's Resource Center, and so there's a lot of cross-reference and helping each other out, and I think that it's so wonderful for women to feel comfortable, and the Women's Resource Center has all kinds of support groups and educational things that I can tell my ladies about, and you know, there's just a nice cross-reference.
Right, and as you were collecting today to begin the program, you each introduced that several of you belong to the League of Women Voters, or you belong to the League of Women Voters and AAUW. So it is a definite intertwining and interdependency that we form to fulfill our very distinct missions.
Yes.
And that's very exciting. So when we say the word empowerment, what does that really mean to you? I know when I've tried to find a clear definition, it's often steeped in history of meaning someone has given you a right that you don't have. And then I see a more modern definition where it has to do more with what I bring from inside myself. So when you think of empowerment, what do you think about?
Well, I think of it as a process of empowerment. And I think what we're talking about right now, what everybody's talked about, is every one of our groups brings people together collectively to help individuals, to enable individuals to take on their own power, to change their lives, to change their community, to really, really develop their full potential. And that's what empowerment means to me. I think it's often put in terms of wresting power from someone else, and that's not what it means to me. It means developing the power within the person so that they can help their group develop power, so that they can, you know, help their children. You know, that's what it means to me.
Anybody else want to add
Yeah,
some thoughts?
we empower women by our structure. We are on 3 different levels, local, state, and national. So women in our group can work on all 3 levels, and there's tremendous amount of really good training opportunities for them. And it's the kind of thing, well, a woman may not volunteer to be president of a group, but we've got all these committees, so we have a way for them to start out somewhere and then find out, oh, I can do this, and then move on.
That's important.
Yeah.
It's really important when someone says, oh, I didn't realize I could do that, or here's this opportunity. But in our group, I think the empowerment part is from each other, like sisters, to be able to say like, wow, you did such a great job, or that was wonderful, and that kind of empowerment, just to like have that emotional structure around you to say, I can do this because my sisters are with me, and I know they're going to be proud of me, and they're going to give me claps and hugs and say what a great job I did, and you know, it just feels so good. To me, that's being empowered by other people.
And building your confidence.
Yes.
Is a definite big part of that.
I think that, to play devil's advocate, because A, it's fun.
Of course.
And, no, but with the center, an interesting thing that I've had to deal with is women being turned off by the term empowered. And having the negative connotation, and I think that, you know, Kathleen, on the wresting, you know, power from someone, or it being seen as threatening. So I think it's interesting to get a different perspective on empowerment. To me, is just what we're talking about, is women, men, everyone having the belief in themselves and seeing their opportunities and making good choices, decisions, and living life on their terms, but in a respectful way. And I think it's sad that we have to kind of get over the barrier of, I'm empowered and that makes me a threat to others or makes people uncomfortable. So I think making it a more friendly word is an important thing for all of us. So I don't know if you all still deal with some of that backlash, certainly from the ERA movements and et cetera, that is so.
Well, I wanted to say that we are also a group that works at many levels, the local, the national, and the international. And we do have a legal advocacy arm where we will either participate in an amicus brief with a woman who brings a case, like we were participants with the Betty Drew versus Walmart case, which did not succeed. But on the local level, I think that's another place where we also join with other groups in speaking, in having our voice and empowering our groups. And one of the things we recently signed on with was to talk to the commissioners in Bradenton about including some specific things about individual race, gender in their housing, what do I want to say? Discrimination in housing, and expanding it to discrimination in general. And we participated with you. You're one of those groups who signed. And I think that's an important thing too, empowerment of groups.
And forming those coalitions among the groups.
And knowing that they're out there makes you feel more confident and more powerful to say, you know, well, this is what I'd like to accomplish, but I don't know how. And then you hear about a group and you say, oh, well, I can.
I'm not alone.
Yeah, they're already forming a committee and we can do this. And so knowing where there's resources is very empowering.
Well, let's talk about some of those resources. What are some of the resources that your organizations bring to bear and opportunities for women to empower themselves?
I will start with that.
Yeah, okay.
But back to the Women's Resource Center. No, it is. Well, because I think of all of the organizations, the center is, you know, open daily, and one of our main purposes is to be that point of connection for people. I think that Manatee County is one of the most fabulous places to live because there's so many people interested in making it a better community. So there's lots of resources for people and lots of people that are trying to do things. So having kind of a clearinghouse that we stay connected to the other agencies of whether it's something we can do. Certainly I am, and it's not just because you're sitting beside me, counseling. I think counseling for some people is one of the most important things to help them see their lives differently.
Sure.
But if it's not counseling or a job or something that they need, sometimes it's food, clothing, and the basic shelter things. So providing the opportunities for where do I go, the AAUW scholarship applications are something that we always have on hand. How to connect to any type of resource, and word of mouth, advertising, having that bit of this is where you can go to find what you need. Doing the advocacy piece. I think that that's important, that we stay in communication with each other and not get in our sandboxes and be like, well, what is SWAT doing? And they might be doing something that, you know, taking those boundaries away and say, how can we work together to make sure that everybody has access to the information?
Yeah, we have tremendous training resources with the League. Everything from online materials to webinars and training courses at the conferences. And an example of how a woman in our group empowered was when she started taking these courses, and she created her own PowerPoint production, and now she started a speakers bureau for our League.
Good.
And she is just so excited about it. It was a wonderful thing to see a woman, you know, developing like that.
Well, and your hot topics, the League hot topics, so people can get informed. I think informed is empowered as well.
Well,
We also have educational resources too. One of the things that we have available is courses for college students who are graduating to get them ready to negotiate a salary when they're going out for a job. Another thing that we're going to be doing is presenting information about Title IX so that people in the community know how to monitor that. Are girls in our local community being treated fairly in the schools? We have lots of resources like that, very similar to yours.
That's awesome. Well, what's great about SWAT is it's a little bit different. When you get there, you will have so many resources. If you need a new mortgage or a new roof on your house, or you need an insurance agent, or you would like to try one of those health products like Juice Plus or Mona V, you know, all of that is going to be right in the same room. So it's a really great advocate for people to just not have to go, oh wow, I need to call a mortgage person, I don't know who to call. You know, it's right there, and and it's all women, so we help each other out, and it's just a real feel-good kind of place. So as far as advocates, you know, and empowerment, that's what it's all about at SWAT, so it's really good.
Well, it sounds like among you, there are just a wealth of resources. And I heard a common theme as well in terms of information, education, knowledge, how much more powerful we are with the full set of knowledge that's available. How about challenges? What kind of challenges do your organizations face as you attempt to achieve your missions?
Well, what we find, like all groups right now, that it's hard to get the number of volunteers you need to do all that needs to be done. But on a larger scale with women, I think there is still some barriers to women. Women are still have to prove themselves more than a man. You have to prove that you can be effective. Women still don't have equal status. Women only make 77 cents for every dollar that a man makes. There are only 17% of women in the Congress. Are they making good decisions? And there are only 20-some in the state legislature. Are they making good decisions? Maybe if more women were in these legislatures in Congress, things might be different.
What other challenges do you face?
I'm sure the women's resources.
Money. Money. I think money is always one, and I think I actually am on the board of the League of Women Voters. That we've been having discussions on how I got connected was speaking about the equal rights movement, and I am in my early 40s. I'm still, yeah, we can consider it early 40s. Let's not get too technical. But it was not even in my thought process. I knew it had not passed, but it wasn't even, and it was kind of a shocking moment. And I think getting younger women engaged in women's issues, and it doesn't have to be men versus women, and I think if we can step out of that thought process that it's a battle, but it's an equal rights. It's not just women, it's religious, it's sexual, I mean, it's all of those things that I think with some of the things going on in the legislature, that younger girls are going to have to question things that they never had to question before, like the ability to have healthcare access and their reproductive rights and all of those things that have been a given that now they're going, wait, what's going on? So getting the younger generation more engaged with, this is an issue that's mine. And I think we all struggle with that. And our volunteer base is 60 and over. And so we need to get the 20s to 50s more engaged.
I think one of the challenges that I just realized is getting the information out about what we all do, what we all provide. And I wanted to say something about something I learned from a League of Women Voters healthcare meeting the other day, and that was, if you want to know where anything is, call 211. It's a United Way phone number, and you say, I have this problem, please tell me where to go. And they'll probably send people to all of us.
I agree with you. I think the challenge for SWAT is getting the word out there. And I know sometimes I'll meet someone at a function and they'll say, oh my God, I didn't know that you were there and I'd love to come, and you know, that kind of thing. So just getting the word out there about services and about what's out there in our community. That's the biggest challenge.
It's dawning on me too how important your roles are as leaders of these women's organizations, to exude your confidence and to model that for other women, to know that you can create something that provides those resources that allow women to really have the strength and power they need to have a better life in all regard and in our community. I'm wondering about successes. Rosalie shared one success of someone who came into the organization and learned a new skill and applied that and is asserting her power through that new skill. How about the others of you? Can you give us some examples of good successes that women have of accessing your resources and being empowered to create a better life?
I'll go first. Me.
Okay. How about you, Dr. Robyn?
Do you have something to share?
Me. Well, SWAT has only been officially in existence for a little over a year, and so we're getting ready to have our annual luncheon. And one of the things, as I said before, I like to pick all the good things that I liked about networking. And one of the things that we did was we have brag dollars, and so everybody gets to put $1 in, and women love this, you know, like, oh, my son graduated from high school, and we all clap, you know, it's great. Well, so for all year we've been collecting the money, and we put in votes for the charity that we wanted, and I picked the charity. It's well, maybe I shouldn't say, you have to go to the luncheon to find out. But we picked the charity, and they're going to come to the luncheon, and we're going to present them with a check for the money that we've been collecting all year for our brag dollars. And so SWAT is a really fun organization, and we really like it a lot. So I'm really proud of that success. Yeah.
And getting people engaged in other parts of the community.
Yep.
Which is great.
Yeah, definitely.
Any other success stories?
On the state level, I wanted to mention a project that in Manatee County didn't, but AAUW started. We have lots of programs in which we attempt to get boys and girls in middle school interested in pursuing STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. One of the East Coast branches started a project where they involved middle school children and their parents to help the parents understand why it was important for their kids to get involved in math, why it was important for them to be, and they have had so much support now from parents. And these are mostly, the group they're working with are primarily migrant workers, people in the poverty level, and it's just been a wonderful success.
Wow, great.
That's great.
One thing I wanted to mention is the process the League uses to make decisions about what positions to take revolves around a consensus method. And everybody gets to give their viewpoint, and then everybody sees how they can accommodate the other. And it's great training if anyone's going to go into political life, because you learn right away the give and take and how and when to compromise.
Well, I see we're just about to run out of time. This has really been a lot of fun talking to all of you, and I know there are many, many more organizations out there like us that we can help connect with. Any other final remarks before we close out?
Ooh.
That's
3 minutes, Ashley.
No, I just wanted to, well, thank you for doing this forum, because I think this is a great way, and METV does a wonderful job of bringing information to the community, and it opens up the door to conversation. And
Absolutely.
we're all so busy, beyond busy, which I think is part of the problems with getting volunteers in that piece. But if we make the time to work together and collaborate, and then I think we have a better opportunity to get women, men, and families in Manatee County all going in a good, positive direction.
Great. Anything else?
Well, I wanted to say that empowerment, to second what you said, please do not be afraid of the word empowerment. And an empowerment of women in all cultures generally means that women are more educated, they're better able to care for their children, they're better able to participate in the democracy, that the gross national product goes up when women are empowered, when they have equity. That's what I wanted to say.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I just wanted to put in another plug for the Women's Resource Center.
There we go. Yay!
Because
You should have been more.
I wonder if people realize that you can just walk in and get information anytime during the day. And the reason that I'm giving that plug is to be selfish, because my office is there also, so they can see us.
She could be there.
Yeah,
and we
you
have
can
a
see
great
SWAT.
house cat.
We do have
So
a great
they're
house
all-
cat that loves us both.
Yeah, I met him. We were over there and I got to meet him. Very nice cat.
He's a she. Chloe.
Chloe.
But yes, this was very nice. Thank you so
Yes,
much
thank
for
you.
providing
Thank
this
you.
forum. We really appreciate it.
So in closing, I want to thank you, our panelists, today for a stimulating and informative forum on women's empowerment through organizations. Today we have focused on 4 very different women's organizations. 2 might be classified as clubs, 1 is an agency, and another fills a very special niche by providing a venue for networking. While each has a distinct mission, all of these organizations, as well as many more organizations in our community, offer opportunities for women's empowerment. If you would like more information about any of these groups, please send an email to manateeaauw@hotmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. The next forum in our series will focus on women's mental health. Please let us know what concerns, questions, comments, and suggestions you have about women's mental health issues. And again, contact us at that same Hotmail address. Thank you for being with us today.